Hello, everybody, and welcome to the CMSportsNet Girls Basketball Game of the Week. We got a good game coming up between Man Valley and Liberty, but first, it's time for the pregame report.
The pregame report is sponsored by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's, pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
I'm Pat Stetzer, and once again, welcome to CMSportsNet's Game of the Week. We've got a girls basketball game showdown between the past two Carroll County Athletic League champions, Manchester Valley and Liberty. And with me to break it all down is Emily Miller, former standout at Westminster High School, who played Division I college basketball and a Carroll County Sports Hall of Famer. Emily, thanks very much for giving us some of your time tonight.
Thank you, Pat. Thanks for having me.
Tonight we've got reigning county champion Man Valley facing off against Liberty, in which should be an entertaining game. The Mavericks are 10-2 and 4-2 in the county. They've won 7 of their last 8 games, while the Lions come into this game with a 4-7 record and 1-5 in the county. The Lions snapped a 3-game losing streak by beating rival Century on Thursday. It was Liberty's first Carroll County Athletic League win of the season. Meanwhile, Man Valley is trying to keep pace with Francis Scott Key. The Eagles are sitting up top the county standings at 6-0. Emily, you've played in some of these games before, these big Carroll County games. What's it like when you get a chance to experience one where a lot of things are on the line, a lot of stakes?
It's neat, Pat, and it's the pressure that doesn't really hit you until tip-off, right? You know, especially nowadays, these girls are all connected on social media. They're friends on and off the court. They have certain rivalry feelings about each other on and off the court.
Right.
So when the ball goes up and the game faces come on, it's definitely competitive. I think tonight we're going to get a lot of great action from two teams that are so incredibly coached, always have been historically in the programs. So it's just going to be a special night of basketball.
We got Heather DeWeese for Man Valley and Barry Green for Liberty. Both teams pretty evenly matched on paper when you look at some of the team statistics. I know Man Valley likes to shoot the three-pointer and Liberty does as well. Just wanted to ask you quickly, Emily, you know, the three-pointer was obviously around when you played.
Sure,
but it's changed a lot in the last couple of years, especially since you left college. How big is that three-pointer now? You've coached high school level as well. How have you seen the three-pointer evolve?
You know, you can live and die by the three-pointer. You could have a night where you just make it rain and you can't miss, and those are incredible nights. But then you have nights where there's a trash can lid on top of that basket and you can't hit anything. So you can't always rely on it, but it's fantastic to have a player on your team and on your roster who can shoot that three-pointer. And really from every position nowadays, the 1 to the 5 are expected to step outside and knock that down.
I think we got the national anthem coming up, so let's take a quick break and listen in to the Star Spangled Banner. Emily, I know you have some experience with the forward position, played it in high school, played it in college. We've got a good matchup tonight, I should say, featuring two of the top forwards in the county with Liberty's Jenna Liska and Man Valley's Carmea Bowman. What are some of the big things that you've got to do as a post player that you know the position pretty well in order to be that successful in the post and command that presence in the post?
Absolutely. I mean, the post, I think, is a fantastic position. You have to bring a level of physicality to the game. You can't just, you know, avoid contact. So I expect to see a lot of contact tonight between those two star players. You also need to have a little bit of a touch of finesse. So these girls are probably well versed in a lot of the low post moves, but I expect to see some of them take a step out, a little bit high post, maybe some high post, low post action.
Yeah, and definitely with Carmea Bowman, she steps out and shoots the jump shot as well very well. And Liska, like you mentioned, you're going to see some command of the paint, which I know you're looking forward to. Yeah. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the starters for tonight. on both sides. We got Liberty and Man Valley. You see Barry Green and Heather DeWeese sharing a hug there at half court as the varsity game is about to get underway.
All right. Lady Lions varsity starting lineup. Leading off.
There's Man Valley's lineup. You got Emma Penchik and Autumn Stottlemyre at the guard positions. Also Casey Meredith, the guard. Aubrey Chopper is a guard for Man Valley. And like we mentioned, Carmea Bowman, the forward for Manchester Valley. Danny Paulson, Paige McKnight, Courtney Goff, you see the guards there. And also, like we mentioned, Jenna Liska, their main forward. Their main forward, also like kind of a center forward. Haley Hodges is the other guard forward. Barry Green's got a couple players, Emily, that have listed as guard and forward, so basically your swing player. When you've got a lot of those girls on the court like that, does that just help that offense be a little more balanced in that way?
100%. Traditionally, Liberty has been stacked full of athletic females.
Yes.
So it does not surprise me that some of these girls can play almost any position on the court.
And definitely, like we mentioned, Jenna Liska, 10.9 rebounds, points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game. She's missed a little bit of time for an injury early in the season, but she's come back now. And like we mentioned, Liberty got their first county win of the season just last week. But again, Man Valley 4-2 in the county, trying to keep pace with Francis Scott Key. FSK beat Winners Mill last night to go to 7-0 in county play. Really off to a great start, and they've already got one victory against Man Valley. They'll play again in the regular season. Would you rather be the hunter or the hunted as we get to that second half of the county portion of the season? If you're Key, you're riding high, 7-0. If you're a
Sure.
Man Valley, you're right behind them at 4-2. You want to start to stack some wins. Which position would you rather be in?
There's more pressure on the hunter, I would definitely say that, but I think that any team coached by Heather DeWeese is very comfortable in the huntee position.
Absolutely.
And you do not have to encourage them to have a chip on their shoulders.
Manchester Valley and Liberty getting set. CMSportsNet Girls Basketball Game of the Week. We're glad you're with us, and we'll enjoy this game here coming up momentarily with the tip-off. Looks like Bowman tipping for Man Valley, and Haley Hodges for Liberty. And we're underway, and the Mavericks will have the first possession of the game. Emily, I think we're going to see a lot of good guard play tonight. Both teams have some quality guards that know how to maneuver with the ball. And there's the first shot, just in and out of the rim from Carmea Bowman, but a nice move to the basket. Mm-hmm. Man Valley comes up scoreless on their first trip, and now here come the Lions. And there's some guard play. Steal by Emma Penchik, number 2. Oh, cannot finish it, though. And the ball actually goes off Man Valley. So the first defensive play there by number 2, Emma Penchik, but got to finish those shots under the hoop, right?
That's absolutely right. It's going to be a long night if those don't fall. But with that being said, there's always a lot of nerves in the beginning of a game, so let's chalk that up to nerves.
Yep. First few minutes, you want to sort of settle in, right?
Absolutely. You're going to find the tempo of the game. You're going to find the pace. Mm-hmm. You're going to figure out how physical those bigs can be with each other,
right.
The high post and the low post. So I do expect to see some scrappy defense up here as we get started, just to kind of test to see what the refs are going to call and let go.
Three-pointer long for Man Valley. Some hustle for it. Liberty comes up with a loose ball. Long shot there by number 12, Alyssa Gollenbeck, comes down, and Man Valley corrals it.
Mm-hmm. Looks like each team having a little bit of trouble finding their tempo and pace tonight as we get going here.
Man Valley around the top of the perimeter. That's Casey Meredith, number 5, passing over to Carmea Bowman. Inside to, now we're going to pass back out. Plenty of time to spot up for a 3. Little long.
And you see that triple team down there in the paint, Pat. It is going to be a long night in the paint if Liberty's defensive plan is to triple team every time it goes in there. So
trying to get as many rebounds as you possibly can.
Yep, no surprise there. Great game plan by Coach Green.
21 Haley Hodges off the glass on the first points of the game at the 6:00 with 6:05 to go in the first quarter come from Liberty. So the Lions on the board.
That's right.
It'll be interesting to see, Emily, which team wants to slow things down. I know Man Valley likes to run a little bit. And we're going to see some wholesale changes here for Liberty. Carmea Bowman in the post. Her little jumper goes a little bit long.
So far, the Liberty defense standing very tall and strong against the Man Valley star player down in the post.
Yep. That's number 5 down there, Paige McKnight for Liberty.
Some body on the baseline.
Yeah, some body. I was just going to mention so whether she stepped on the line, but we're calling a foul called on the baseline for Man Valley.
A game like this, when you expect some physicality, it could come down to foul shots tonight, Pat.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be another foul call. Just a little aggressive there on Man Valley, and didn't see who it was, but that he's checking to make sure it wasn't the second foul on the Man Valley player. Inbound for Liberty. A couple of quick fouls, though, for the Mavericks down this end. Coming up on 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Is that a reach-in foul called?
I saw Coach DeWeese turn around and point to the bench, so I think
yes. So
she's ready to switch it up a little bit
she
there.
is.
Yep.
Coming in for the Mavericks, number 12, Molly Smith.
Liberty having ample chances here to get something set up and really execute on this out-of-bounds play.
Absolutely. Haven't seen Jenna Liska enter the game just yet. We mentioned she's Liberty's go-to post player. She has been dealing with that injury, so maybe we'll see her come in here shortly. Jessica Hiller with a shot that was a little hard, and Man Valley with the rebound. Down we go to Carmea Bowman, who scores off the glass. That's her bread and butter, that left-handed hook.
Oh, it's beautiful, the left hand.
You said you were
I am jealous
of that left hand.
I wish I would have been born a left-hander, Pat.
Man Valley trying a little bit of trap here, and there it goes. A turnover has been committed. Back the other way.
She did miss. She had her number 20 was wide open.
Yeah, Carmea was looking for it,
Yeah.
Bowman, but Pension will get it to her, and Carmea will try to live in that post and take those jump shots. Smith tried to go back up with it, blocked by Liberty, and a foul called on the Lions. So some aggressive play here to start the first 3+ minutes of this first quarter.
Yeah, you can definitely tell each of the teams are bringing it tonight. Carmea, she's just got to be a little careful not to force things down in there, but she is rebounding on every play, and she's involved in every play. A player like that really makes an impact when they're on the court. Big substitution.
Yeah, this is the second time that Coach Green has done that. And there's Jenna Liska with her warm-up song, but we haven't seen her in the game yet, so I don't know if she's perhaps not feeling well or just not coming in just yet.
She could have come out for warm-ups and something just didn't feel
Yeah,
right. You
she was
never
warming
know.
up.
It could have
She
been a
was warming
game-time
up.
decision.
That is true. Not to say we won't see her, but we haven't seen her yet.
Right.
Man Valley trying to get through that Liberty defense. Emma Penchik, she'll pull up for a short jumper, which turns into a good pass.
It turned into an alley-oop.
It sure did.
That's a great finish.
Number 20, Carmea Bowman, able to finish it and draw the foul.
I had many moments that turned into alley-oops from the high post to the low post in my career, Pat.
And you chalk them up as good passes, right?
You just point and say, you're welcome for that pass.
That's right. So Carmea averaging 10.5 points a game, leading Man Valley in scoring, and she's trying to add up another one here.
Great shot.
Free throw is good, and Man Valley has the 5-2 lead. All 5 points coming from Carmea Bowman, number 20, Man Valley's all-county player. And here comes some of that pressure from Heather DeWeese.
Yeah, you see a great three-quarter court press there. That does not surprise me one bit. They've got some momentum here, so why not put a little pressure up there?
And Barry Green calls a timeout. It looks like Jenna Liska's taking off for warm-up, so we might be seeing her in a moment. While we have this break, maybe we're going to take a look at that replay of the and one from Carmea Bowman.
Nice.
Like you said, a nice
Great
quote-unquote
board.
pass to her.
Oh, yeah.
Penchik wanted to shoot that ball. Wanted that to go in, but it's nice to be Johnny on the spot when you've got that teammate underneath that has good hands and go up and get that rebound.
Absolutely. And Carmea was in perfect rebounding position there, so she was ready for it and seized the opportunity.
Yep. 4:05 to go. First quarter, Man Valley with the 5-2 lead. You see Coach Barry Green.
Sharp dresser,
Sharp
that
dressed
man.
up. I was just going to say.
He is so sharp. He's always been a sharp dresser.
Yeah, he has been. We mentioned we saw him in pregame when we were talking about his variety of suits that he likes to wear during the big games. And always a good spot when you go to Liberty and see Barry resplendent in his nice colored suits. But he wants nothing more than to come up with a victory here tonight for the Lions.
Sure.
They want to get some momentum going here in the second half of the season. There we see Jenna Liska, her first time in the game. Comes in, takes a post dribble, and
What an
scores off the
entrance.
glass.
What
an
a
entrance
debut,
is right.
yep.
Give 2 points to Jenna Liska, the senior forward, and it's a 5-4 game. Looked like it might have been a double dribble, but it didn't get called. Molly Smith trying to go up and in. Molly Smith from Man Valley, number 12, with a layup.
Great drive by Molly. She had a little body going up there, too.
And there's a steal by Carmea and another score. So Carmea Bowman off to a great start for Manchester Valley, number 20, the senior forward, committed to play at Shepherd next year. And a turnover there by the Lions. Carmea up to 7 points so far. She's coming out, take a break and a breather. In comes number 5, Casey Meredith, one of Man Valley's speedy, talented guards. Soccer player in the fall, lacrosse player in the spring, basketball player in the winter.
Three-sport athlete.
Three-sport
Good for her.
athlete.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
they got a lot of them over there on the Man
Yeah.
Valley side. And Liberty, too, for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
Autumn Stottlemyre passing it back to Reese Crestline in the paint. Back out top. Crestline will take the three. A little long, but Man Valley gets the rebound. Molly Smith with a big board.
Good rebounding efforts from both teams so far in this game, Pat. I can't say decisively one's winning, and
It's been, even so far on the board, that was Casey Meredith down the lane, a little short on the free throw. Nice pass inside and a foul from Man Valley. A nice pass by number 23 for Liberty. Courtney Goff gets it to number 12, I'm sorry, number 3, I should say. Nope, it was number 12, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Gollenbeck is going to
There's the
take 2 free throws, yeah. Foul was called there, and Gollenbeck will shoot 2.
great heads-up play by number 23. She draws the defense towards her so that she can open up her teammate, and in that case, the teammate was able to draw the foul. And sink one of the 2 foul shots so far.
Always good to hit the first one.
Yeah.
Coming in from Man Valley, number 33, Brenna Murphy. And Gollenbeck gets another shot here at the line.
I think we're perfect on foul shots for tonight.
How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking like a coach.
It's hard to stamper that.
That's right. That's right.
I'll just try not to yell.
That's all right.
Okay.
So sometimes it'll take a whole quarter for each team to figure out what defense is going to be the best to run against certain offenses and matchups and things like that.
And we've already seen many different combinations of players on the court for each team, too,
that's
which
true.
is a little unusual in the first quarter of a game. So each of these coaches must have seen something, some type of matchup that they thought would be better or worse.
Right.
You see Man Valley is using a three-quarter court press.
Yep, got a foul called on Liberty.
Yeah.
Barry Green wanted to push off, but they've got their guards sort of up high at the top of the free throw line. Whether you want to run screens off of that or whatever it might be.
The offense set up that way, it really opens a lot of different opportunities.
Okay.
And it's tough as a defense. You don't know which movement is
Right.
going to happen.
And there's a curl three-pointer from Emma Penchik who came along the baseline. And Man Valley's lead is up to 6 points at 12-6.
I thought so. Oh, they got her.
Backcourt violation on Liberty. And
Yeah.
again, Man Valley's defense is going to make this a very challenging night for the Lions if they want to try to stay in this game. Man Valley's defense is tight and it's physical.
Oh, and oftentimes, if the Mavs stay in this three-quarter court press, oftentimes you're not going to see a lot of steals. But what it does to you as an offensive player is it wears you down because you don't get much time just to take a breather.
Reese Crestline with another left-handed layup, and Emily Miller likes to see that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So number 11 for the Mavericks with a bucket there, and it is 14-6 in favor of the visiting team with 1:16 to go in the first quarter.
Liberty needs one here.
Yeah, I was just going to say you don't want to fall too far behind with a game like this. As Man Valley in a little bit of a zone. There's a three from the top of the arc, and they got one.
There you go.
They needed one, and they got one.
start hitting some of those threes, that defense needs to expand a little bit.
Right.
It's going to open up your post play. So
Okay.
when you have a very talented big, the best thing you can do is start raining threes, because all of a sudden they have to go guard those girls on the outside.
I think that was number 5, Paige McKnight, with the three-pointer for Liberty. Again, here's Reese Crestline in the lane. Nice runner, just didn't go down for Reese. Fight for the rebound. And a jump ball's called, and it's going to go the Liberty's way, excuse me. So a jump ball turnover there. .38 seconds left in the first quarter. Manchester Valley 14, Liberty 9 here on the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. And trying for a long pass, intercepted by Emma Penchik, number 2, and the guard does what she does. That's use that
Beautiful.
speed
Yep.
and convert it into a layup. And the defense has given them some issues, but that's a nice way to break it.
That's fantastic.
And there's Alyssa Gollenbeck, number 12 for Liberty.
If Liberty will calm down and execute their press break, they will be able to find the holes.
And this is going to be a backcourt violation, so Liberty might get one more shot here at the end of the first quarter. Man Valley going a little too fast for their own good. And the pass back to the perimeter went into the backcourt for a turnover. So 7 seconds left, plenty of time, Emily, to set up a point, set up a final
Absolutely.
shot here in the quarter.
Oh, not.
Yep. I kind of thought that was going to be an offensive foul, a little bit of a push off. Number 15, Gigi Hall, got called for the foul. 2 seconds to go now, and Man Valley will probably.
That's a good sign, too, that the defense is tight. You and
Yeah.
I aren't sitting in the gym, but when you start seeing push-off fouls, you can tell players need some space.
Right. And that's the end of the first quarter. 1 quarter in the books. Manchester Valley 16, Liberty 11 here on the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. It was a lot of Carmea Bowman for Manchester Valley and Alyssa Gollenbeck, number 12 for Liberty, filling in well, as we saw Jenna Liska score a point there as well, coming off the bench. We haven't seen her a lot yet so far in the first half, but I'm thinking that it appears that Coach Barry Green wants to substitute liberally and get as many girls on the court to kind of go against this tight Manchester Valley defense.
Absolutely. And Liska came right in. You know, this is her first game back from an injury, whatever that was. We're not sure how she's feeling. She didn't start, so something
Right.
might have been up after warm-ups.
It's true.
But good for her. She came right in. She made a really nice play. That should help with her confidence, and
Right.
I'm sure her teammates are happy to see her back out in the court.
Right. And we saw Heather DeWeese in her huddle, and if you have a 5-point lead here and you've been dominating with the steals and converting the layups, if you're Coach DeWeese, you're just telling your girls, let's keep that pressure up as long as we possibly can.
Absolutely. I think right away in the first quarter, you're seeing the pressure have an impact on the Liberty Lions tonight. So if I'm Heather, I'm saying, okay, let's keep doing what we're doing. We're going to get you some breathers. Get out there and play some tough D.
There we see the sort of the tail of the tape between the two all-county forwards. You got Carmea Bowman from Manchester Valley and Jenna Liska from Liberty. Points per game, pretty even. Rebounds, Jenna's got her by a little bit. And assists, too. Now, Jenna's sample size is a little smaller than Carmea's because of the injury. But, just two players to keep an eye on here. I know, like Emily just said, we haven't seen a lot of Jenna so far, but rest assured we'll see her more before the night's over.
We've not seen them matched up against each other. They may not be a good matchup for each other.
Right.
Ooh.
That was a steal by Liberty. Haley Hodges, number 21, come up with the steal, and the Lions keep possession. And right back to the Mavericks, and that was Emma Penchik, number 2, poking the ball away. And number 2, Penchik, and number 5, Casey Meredith, are lethal with the steals that lead to points the other way. They're just really good getting able to putting their hands on the ball. And there's Carmea Bowman again, number 20, with that left hand off the glass.
Beautiful. Still jealous.
Emily's smiling back here in the studio. That should be 9 points for Carmea now, and it's an 18-11 lead for the Mavericks. And there she is again with a steal.
She consistently shows up on both ends of the court. It's very impressive.
Yes. That ball got away from Casey Meredith, and Carmea is there to clean it up and score. And a quick run
we'll
for the
take
Mavericks
those, yeah.
is a timeout for the Liberty Lions with 1 minute into the second quarter. It's a 9-point lead at 20-11.
So far, I've not seen an answer for Carmea and her style of play. That is going to be very difficult for the Liberty Lions to defend against tonight, and I'm curious to see what Coach Green will do to make an adaptation to his defense.
Whether he actually does, like you mentioned a minute ago, as you see him talking to his team, and there's Jenna standing right there, Jenna Liska, whether he puts her down low as much as he can and gets a body between Carmea and the basket, because right now, the guards, it's just a mismatch. When Carmea gets the ball in the post, it's a mismatch, whoever's out there right now so far.
Sure, yeah, and Carmea so far tonight has really shown her versatility as a player, and that is very difficult to guard. It's hard to match up when she does bring that size to the table, but she's also very agile in the court.
Yeah.
She's great combination, and she's a left-hander.
The total package. No, but she's going with a couple steals already. She's got some assists, and of course she's up to 9 or maybe even 11 points now for Man Valley. So their top player is acting like their top player. Liberty has to try to find that answer here in the second quarter, or else, like we mentioned, it might slip away. But again, Liska's on the court now. Liberty has been effective when they run their offense. We'll see what they have to do on this trip down the court.
That's the key. Get the ball to the middle of the court. That breaks that press pretty quickly.
And they did get it to Liska, and Liska drew the foul. So that's essentially what Liberty needs to do to get back in this game.
Absolutely.
Break the press and find 14.
Absolutely. And they break the press a few times. I'm not sure Man Valley will continue with the press, but we'll see what Coach DeWeese does here. And
She loves the press, though.
she sure does.
And it works.
It does. And to my point earlier, it doesn't always create a steal, but it does create fatigue. When you're the team trying to break that press, it's just daunting. You just can't inbound the ball and lackadaisically dribble it up the court. You have to pay attention.
Yeah, and you have to anticipate that next pass because the double team is there in front of you sometimes. Liska missed the first one, but did make the second one. And it's 20-12, Manchester Valley. Liberty with a little man defense here, some pressure. Nice fake.
Great ball movement by the Mavs.
Indeed. Good pass over to Emma Penchik for a three that was in and out and did not fall, and Liska corrals the rebound.
Great quick shot there by the Mavs.
It was. And there's another hand anticipating a pass, and Penchik upset with herself that that three didn't go down, but she's all over the court for Manchester Valley.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only a sophomore is number 2, Emma Penchik, and one of the fastest kids in the county. We've seen her flash that speed in lacrosse and soccer and also basketball. Shot didn't go down, but the Lions did get the rebound and another possession. Liska trying to get a pass off, and
There's really no options for her there,
nope.
Pat.
Carmea Bowman and Casey Meredith come up with a loose ball steal, and Meredith will run the offense for Manchester Valley. They just make it tough, Emily. They just make it tough on anybody to run what they want to run. And there's Carmea with the left hand in the paint. Shot doesn't fall, but again, she got a great look at the basket there.
And she's having no problem getting the ball.
None.
I'm surprised Liberty's not doing a little bit better job at trying to front her or limit her touches on the ball.
And there's the first time we've seen Bowman and Liska sort of matched up, but I think Bowman got called for a reach. So Liberty will maintain the ball there. So they may be matched up on each other here a little bit here. And now that, like you mentioned, now that Man Valley has set the tone, although Liska ran out to the three-point line there. So anyway, yep, there they are. That physicality would have to be coming soon, or else Liberty's going to be too far behind to really like flex its muscle.
Absolutely.
Here's a three-pointer from Danny Paulson, number 2, that goes in, and she's a good shooter from the outside. She's second on their team at about 9 points a game, and she grabs 6.5, 7 rebounds too. So if Liska is player A, Danny Paulson is 1A.
And good for Danny, you know, spot yourself up, get open on the three-point line, knock it down.
Have confidence to
take care of that.
Right.
Take care of that opportunity.
Emma Penchik tried for one, no good. Danny Paulson with the rebound, number 2, and here comes Liberty again to chip into that lead.
Liberty is not letting it get away.
No, not yet. Not so far, and that's obviously good for the Lions.
Oh.
But a steal there from Man Valley again. And a long pass down from Casey Meredith to number 2, Emma Penchik.
Fantastic. Great court vision
Exactly.
there by
That
Casey
court
Meredith.
vision was good there. 22-15 after the layup from Emma Penchik. Nice pass inside to number 14.
She threaded the needle there. Okay, girl.
I thought that was going to be,
nice.
I thought she was throwing that away, but Jenna Liska cleaned it up.
Yeah.
And we got a game, 22-17 now. And Heather DeWeese is going to call a timeout. 30 seconds. That was a nice pass from the guard to Liska, and Liska converted the layup.
the other part. She was ready for it, and she
was.
finished. Yeah.
So that's a
yeah.
play that Liberty runs.
I would say Coach DeWeese probably saw something on Man Valley and thought, okay, this is something different we're seeing from Liberty. Let's make a couple quick adjustments.
Here's some replays. This is Carmea with the left hand. Just a couple of her scores here so far in the first half. Just the way that she uses that left hand. Steal here, and she converts the layup. You were talking about how she's done a little bit of everything so far for Man Valley.
She's dominant at the top of that press. I used to love playing that position because you could steal the inbound and go. That was the easiest shots all night.
Yeah, and then she just converts with that left hand off the glass. She just knows exactly where she needs to be on that in that post.
We talked a little bit about finesse in the opener, and that baseline hook shot, capital F finesse.
Finesse with a capital F.
Yeah, maybe a capital I or two.
A couple extra S's.
All that capitals.
All right, we're back to live action. 4:16 left. Emma Penchik drives the baseline. Does not go. Guess who's there for the rebound? Off Liberty's hands, though.
Great D by Liberty. You know, you got to stay straight up in those situations. No cheap fouls.
Bowman went strong with that basket.
The
bucket just didn't quite get it to go, and the ball went off Liberty's hands, so Man Valley retains possession. We call it a foul. Is this a before the shot?
Might be on me.
No, it's on
It's
on number 5, Paige McKnight, but I think it was a spot foul before she took the 3.
She was trying to get through a screen
Yeah.
there, so she might have been had a little extracurricular on the screen.
Mavericks get it back in bounds.
Ooh,
Bowman to Molly Smith, number 12.
Molly.
Can't convert the layup. And Liberty the rebound.
Sometimes you're too wide open.
You are.
That happened to me a lot too.
Sometimes the rim is your worst enemy.
Great post entry there. In and out, beautiful.
Three-pointer.
Great job by
I
Liberty.
believe that was number 2, Danny Paulson from the far corner. And we had a 2-point game, Emily, 22-20. Man Valley's still in front, but the Lions on a run. Casey Meredith tried the baseline, blocked away, and the Lions have the ball.
Tell you what, a good offensive set really charges the Liberty Lions up.
It
Play
does.
some strong defense.
Now we got Man Valley in a little bit of a zone. Ooh, push shot there from Liberty did not go. And Carmea Bowman with the rebound. Bowman's got it, top of the key, top of the arc, I should say. Molly Smith, number 12, bounce pass to Meredith. She'll take it up herself. A little wild there. Probably should have netted one more pass, but Liberty corralled the ball.
Fantastic job by number 21 from Liberty. She is very undersized down there in the low post, and she held her own.
That's Haley Hodges, guard forward.
Yeah.
Three-pointer attempt blocked away by Penchik, and she gets the ball.
Look at that effort.
Yep.
Fantastic block.
Oh, a little too long, though. Trying to get it to Casey Meredith, her backcourt mate, and a little long pass. I think Man Valley's calling a timeout. So 2:30 to go, second quarter. Manchester Valley is ahead, but it's 22-20. And if my math is right, it was 20-11, Man Valley. So it's 9-2 run for the Lions right now.
Yeah, we're seeing Liberty hit some open shots, and that's the difference maker. There haven't been too many opportunities on either end of the floor.
Right.
So they're knocking them down.
Yeah, and that's because of the extra pass, and it's because of their ability to get around Man Valley's pressure, pressure defense.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll take a look at this last three-pointer from the Lions.
Great.
Just spotting up from that far corner.
Right
Paulson.
before it was an inside-outside pass,
Yes.
and that's that number little 21 again, that
Hodges,
Haley.
yeah. Haley Hodges.
She realized I'm undersized, I'm down here, but I'm going to bring the defense, pull them to me. That way my teammate's wide open.
A smart play instead of trying to take something
Very
up on your
smart.
own, or
Fantastic.
realizing you've got a teammate that is a sharpshooter in the corner. So Lions possession, 2:30 to go in the first half. Man Valley, though, comes up with a steal. Emma Penchik again, number 2.
Yeah.
She's all over the place for them.
She is. Great defensive efforts from her tonight. Oh.
Fast break for Liberty, a little strong on the layup. And back the other way come the Mavs. I was going to try to mention that Penchik averaging almost 5 steals per game for Man Valley. And sometimes you see those numbers and they don't seem real. Then you see them play, and she's right around there.
Quickly add up.
She's already there right now. So layup won't go. Strong rebound by Liska. And Liberty has the ball again. Three-pointer by Paulson, a little strong. Mavericks get the rebound, and offense gone cold here a little bit. Last few trips down the court for both sides.
Each side has had a couple turnovers. You got to take care of the ball. Some missed opportunities by the Mavs, some chippy shots, or at least from the studio, they look like chippies. It's easier said from this side of the table, but.
There's a left-handed runner from from Bowman, doesn't go, and once again, Liberty gets the rebound. Jenna Liska. She's trying to muscle her way down the lane.
Fans want the offensive call there.
I heard some calls from the crowd, but she's got a chance to get down the lane. I mean, it didn't look like her arms were too out of control.
No, not at all.
She's a big presence, and she's coming out here to take a breather.
Strong player, you fight for position, and you're entitled to squaring up to the basketball.
Sure, as long as you're not out of control.
And seeing where you're going.
Number 5, Paige McKnight tried for that layup, and Man Valley's defense stood tall. So under 1 minute to go, still a 2-point Mavericks lead. Number 11, Reese Crestline, passes off.
Pretty shot. Oh, just didn't fall.
Staying here, I think, Man Valley.
Man Valley's had some good looks from the outside tonight. Just doesn't seem like they're having quite a great night.
So far, they haven't hit
shooting.
them with a lot of success. That was Aubrey Chopper, number 13, with that jump shot. And she'll be inbounding the ball. Back out to Penchik. Penchik running the offense here, top of the key. Gets by her defender, nice bounce pass.
Great
Number 11,
dribble drive
Reese
and
Crestline, scores off the glass.
Unselfish play, that's beautiful.
Penchik wanted it and waited for it to happen, and Crestline converted the shot. There's Haley Hodges, number 21. Still fighting down low.
She sure is.
Yep.
Very admirable.
Three-pointer, a little off the mark. Staying here, though, I think Man Valley touched it last. That was Courtney Goff, number 23, taking that three. But Man Valley knocked it out of bounds. So 13 seconds left. Liberty can hold for the last shot. See if they run a play here with plenty of time to run a play or take a three.
There you go. It's open.
It's a little long, but Haley Hodges with the rebound.
Atta girl, look at her.
She's becoming your favorite player.
She might. I know I'm not supposed to have.
That's okay. You can like what you like on the court. There's a long shot from Penchik, but that's going to be the half. And a good first half. Manchester Valley 24, Liberty 20. The Lions got back in it in the second quarter, and they only trail by 4 points. As we have reached halftime at the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. We're going to be back, of course, to talk about what we saw in the first half and talk a little bit more about what we expect to see in the second half. Pat Stetzer, Emily Miller, stick with us. We'll be right back. CMSportsNet Game of the Week.
Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments. The CM Sportsnet Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Genova's To Go, locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's To Go, pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
What does it take to cover local high school sports? It takes staff and volunteers, equipment, training, and community support from people like you. You can help by making a donation to the Community Media Center today. Your gift is an investment in our community, our schools, and most of all, our student athletes. We want to expand our coverage to include both boys and girls sports, but we can't do it without your help. So please, make your donation today and help us bring high school sports to every screen in Carroll County.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
It's our new podcast, and each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss the Score and More podcast presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
The CM Sportsnet Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's Pizza, Pasta, Subs, and more.
All right, we're back. CM Sportsnet Athlete of the Week, and this week, Brendan Luddy, Manchester Valley boys basketball. A couple of 20-point performances last week, handful of steals, and a couple of wins for the Mavericks. Brendan, the team is 6-5 overall, but off to a 4-1 start in the county. And last week, a couple of victories that you guys had. What's been the biggest key to your success so far to help the team get out to this good start?
I would have to say just getting to the basket, getting easy buckets, then either getting to the foul line to get my shot going, hitting the open threes, and especially X, he's been finding me. So, yeah, I had to give a shout out to him.
You guys have a good balance. You got Markel and Xavier Bowman, and you just mentioned those guys, but where do you fit in? Like you mentioned the outside shot. Are you more the perimeter guy for the team so far, or are you trying to do a little bit of everything?
I'm trying to do a little bit of everything, and everybody that we have out there can do everything. So I drive, I can dish to Carter, Will, Braylon, Markel. Can't leave anybody open. So What's been the biggest reason for your guys' success so far this year, coming off of last year's team, a little bit struggle, but this year off to a really good start so far, definitely in the county. You guys beat Century for the first time ever the week before last. What's been one or two things that really kicked you guys off in the right direction? I would say our defense and our intensity. We've been holding teams pretty low scores, and we've been able to just make our shots, which is one thing that we struggled with last year for sure. And, yeah.
Like I mentioned, the 4-1 county start with plenty of games to go. But what does that do for the confidence of the team when you can able to, just even last week, get a couple wins, you lose one in the middle, come back and get a victory against Winters Mill? Is that confidence starting to build? Can you feel a difference on this year's team as compared to last year?
Yes, I definitely can. I mean, it comes into practice, and we just have so much more energy, and we're ready to play. But we can't get too high. That happened one time, and then we lost, and we came back into practice. We got it all together, and we won. So it has built a lot of confidence, though.
Good. All right, man, that's it. This week, Athlete of the Week, Brendan Luddy from Manchester Valley. Want more local sports coverage? Be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
The Halftime Report is sponsored by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's Pizza, Pasta, Subs, and more.
CMSportsNet Girls Basketball Game of the Week. And we've got a good one here so far. Manchester Valley 24, Liberty 20. Mavericks got out to a really good start in the first quarter or so, and Lions chipped back in to the second quarter. I'm Pat Stetzer with Emily Miller, and we're going to go ahead and watch some of the first half highlights and see how things played out. The first 16 minutes of action here from Eldersburg. Again, Man Valley coming in with that 4-2 county record. Emily wanted to get off to a good start. And Liberty coming off their first county victory of the year. We just want to try to build some momentum. But it was Carmea Bowman and the Mavericks early on kind of flexing their muscle. And right away, you love the left hand.
Oh, of course. Beautiful, well executed. Good pressure, good hustle by the Mavericks.
Yeah, the hustle is definitely key here so far in this first quarter and or so of play. See Emma Pensick with that alley-oop that Emily called it to, and a three-point play from Carmea Bowman there down low. So early on, Carmea asserting herself offensively and defensively for the Mavs. They were out to a 5-2 lead. We saw Jenna Liska for the first time, and she scored from that secondary block right there with Carmea Bowman actually guarding her. And
I think that was her first play of the game.
Back
from injury. Good for her.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Liberty kept it close, but again, there's Carmea Bowman with a steal and the layup. She's just long in the paint when she needs to be. Her ability to her nose for getting to the hoop is really fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. The front part of that press, get the ball and score.
Inbounds play right to a three-pointer by number 2, Emma Penchik, and Man Valley was kind of off and going. 12-6 lead there early on. And again, Man Valley was up big in the first quarter, but Liberty didn't go away.
We sure didn't.
A long three-pointer from the top of the key by number 5, Paige McKnight. Set herself and made the shot.
Yeah, seeing a great in-and-out game from Liberty tonight.
Correct. And again, the Lions needed the first quarter to sort of regroup because Man Valley's defense was strong. There you see a steal and a score by Emma Penchik. Just her good presence there. You talked about it right off the bat.
Incredible. I mean, I wish we could freeze frame that and give it to her as a picture. How high up you see her ups there?
It was up for the little one out there, number 2. Again, Liberty finishing the quarter with some nice inside play. You mentioned the inside-outside game, and they just didn't let the game get too far away. That was Lissa Gollenbeck, number 12, with the layup there. But again, Man Valley, they know where each other are on the court. And there's Emma Penchik again, down low for the Mavs. A nice long pass from Casey Meredith to Penchik for the layup. And when that's going well, the Mavericks really are clicking all cylinders like that. Again, Liberty stuck around in the second quarter, and there's Liska again with a nice pass. You mentioned a thread-the-needle pass for Liska to score her second bucket of the first half. That made it 22-17. Points were kind of hard to come by down the stretch here. Casey Meredith gets blocked along the baseline by Liberty. Nice block by, again, I think that was your girl, 21, Haley Hodges.
I'm not allowed to have a girl.
That's okay. But a nice thread, a very nice pass there down low from Penchik to number 11, Reese Cressline, who converts the layup.
Beautiful.
That made it 24-20. And that is the halftime score as Reese Cressline finished it off with that bucket. Carmea Bowman's got 11 points. Danny Paulson has 6 for Liberty. So far, those are the 2 top scorers for each side. You mentioned how Man Valley has done what they have to do in terms of converting defense to offense. What does Liberty have to do in the second half? They got back in the game. What do they have to do, in your eyes, to sort of take over in the second half and trying to post a win here?
Liberty needed a little breather. They're getting that at halftime right now. They're getting a great talk from their coach. And if I was the coach of that team, I would continue to impress upon them how important it is to get these good inside-outside opportunities.
Okay.
They're a little undersized in the post, except for their one player who's coming back off of injury.
Right.
But if they can spot up and knock down some of their threes, I think they'll be okay. They're in their home gym. Typically, it's a lot easier to shoot the three-pointer in your own gym. So they have that going for them at this point.
If you're Heather DeWeese and you got into halftime, you had a big lead in the first quarter, you saw it kind of get whittled away in the second quarter, you still have the lead, you're up by 4. If you're coaching the Man Valley, what are you telling the girls at halftime?
Sure, basketball is a game of addition and subtraction, so we've just seen the highlights and we've seen incredible efforts on defense and offense from her team. I mean, the steals have been incredible, but with the score to be only 2 points difference, there's obviously something on the other hand that is happening. So whether we're not being careful with the ball or that we need to really set up and execute our plays because there are mismatches, and those mismatches should work out for the Mavs' advantage. And
you mentioned Man Valley. I mean, they've gotten some good looks that didn't fall either. So if a couple of those start to fall, the Mavericks can increase their lead. Again, it's 4 points right now. And then, of course, if you're Liberty, you do want that Liska inside presence. And if you can get something from the Gollenbecks, the Danny Paulsons from three-point range, and Haley Hodges, number 21 for them, just all working in tandem, they can sort of keep their pace in this game. Also, you don't want too much of it to fall behind. They fall behind again by double digits, might be tough for them to come back, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And Man Valley's playing a little bit of a zone, so it's harder. You know, you can't really pass through a zone. You got to move through a zone, or you can't dribble through a zone. You got to move through the zone. So it's something that Liberty's got to. They have to create the opportunities for themselves, and I'm telling you, they have the people in their roster to be able to do that.
We're going to find out. We are underway now. Third quarter is underway. Liberty's ball first. I think that was an out-of-bounds play that committed a turnover there by Liberty. So Turnover early on here for the Lions, and the Mavericks will have it here early in the third quarter. 24-20, Man Valley over Liberty, CMSportsNet girls basketball game of the week.
Good little roll.
Over to Carmea Bowman, who'll take the jump shot. Liberty thought they had the rebound, and Penchik said nope.
Yeah.
Number 2 sophomore guard.
And that was a great play. That was not an over the back. There was very little to no contact, and she had no business getting that rebound, but yet there she goes.
Yeah, both hands too. Oh, then there's Janeliski in the passing lane, and Liberty going the other way.
Oh, can she stay in?
She did not, almost. Some good hustle by Man Valley to prevent that from being.
Yeah, it's a good example the other end of the court. They do something great, they get the ball back to get a second chance, but then they commit the turnover. So it's going to be tough to win a basketball game with that.
Yep. 23, Courtney Goff, top of the arc, I should say. Oh, trying to get it to Danny Paulson. Turnover, Casey Meredith down to Emma Penchik for the layup. We've seen that a couple times tonight,
No surprise
Emily.
that Emma Penchik was under the hoop ready to get that one.
And Casey Meredith with the steal and the assist.
I think she was waiting down there, had to dust some dust off.
Jenna Liska trying for the ball. Meredith picks her pocket. So right away, we've seen the Man Valley we saw in the first quarter. Poked away. I think Man Valley retains the ball. Yep. 26-20, first 4 points. First 2 points, sorry, for Man Valley.
A lot of logistics regarding this out-of-bounds play.
Looks like it, yeah.
Where are we supposed to be?
Where are we supposed to be? What's how much time's on the clock? Got to make sure it's all right, all accurate. Inbounds. Penchik gets her hands on the ball.
Great
She'll
pump
take that
fakes.
3, and she'll sink it.
Fantastic.
Emma Penchik.
That one is on fire.
Diminutive in size, but definitely mighty on the court.
Oh, yeah.
Emma Penchik.
Must not be tall to play basketball. I hope any little girl listening hears that.
There you go. Spoken from the 6-footer, though.
That's right. But I was right-handed.
Courtney Goff's 3-pointer goes a little long, and she got in the way of that half-court pass there, though, to disrupt. So Man Valley will set up an inbounds. 29-20. Mavericks up by 9 again.
Got there quick, too.
They did.
It did. Quick math.
They can score in a hurry. 3-pointer short. Jenna Liska with the rebound.
It's one-on-one matchup.
Courtney
down
Goff
there.
tries the left-hand layup, no good. And Penchik will run right past them. And Casey Meredith, number 5, will help set up the offense.
Great court general, always pulls it out, sets it up, make sure they know what defense they're looking at before they go.
You are correct, and they've got a couple of them with Penchik and that's a travel by Carmea, but Meredith and Emma Penchik running the show. Good things usually happen for Man Valley. Emma Penchik up to 12 points now for the Mavericks.
She's earned every point, every part.
She has, and she scored them all, I think, this quarter. Ooh, almost another steal.
Ooh.
Almost out of bounds. There's someone wide open into the basket, but Jenna Liska
Can't get there, yeah.
couldn't get it to her, and that's a turnover. Yeah, I would have thought that was a tip pass, too. Coach Barry Green wondered what happened there, but they're saying that she tried to sort of underhand it to Hodges, and the ball went out of bounds, so Man Valley gets possession. And the Penchik
Great defense.
got picked. Liberty's on a 2-on-1 break. Layup short by Gigi Hall, but a foul called on Man Valley, so Gigi Hall will go to the line for 2.
Not much contact there.
Didn't see too much of it either, as the replay of it. It might have been an altered shot there. It was some good hustle by
Absolutely.
Man Valley on defense there.
Some of these opportunities when Liberty gets them to be two on one to their advantage, it's going to be so important that they finish them or draw the contact so they can get to the foul line.
Correct. Especially down 9, you got to start finishing these shots. See Gigi Hall at the line. A little less than 3 points a game, couple of rebounds for Gigi. And that first one did not go, second one does go. And Liberty's first points of the half come with 5:21 to go in the third quarter, and they're down 8, 29-21.
Great defense up top by number 5 there.
Paige McKnight for Liberty. Reese Cressline dribbling and trying to give it up to a teammate.
Yeah, great pestering defense
It
from
is.
Liberty. And
There's Penchik in the near corner. The 3 goes in. Heather DeWeese and Man Valley wanted a foul on that play, and there's a steal by Casey Meredith. She's looking for a teammate. It's Bowman, and we got a foul called. I believe on 14, Jenna Liska.
Emma's shot from the corner was textbook beautiful. Oh my gosh, nothing but net. And to your point, I think they did want a foul in the box
They
out.
wanted to try to get a 4-point play, but
yeah.
nonetheless, the ball goes down. 14 points now for number 2, Emma Penchik. Another foul on Liska. 15 points, pardon me. 15 points for
That's going to
the
be
sophomore guard.
That is going to be a tough matchup on the perimeter.
And that's at least 2 quick ones, I believe, on Jenna Liska. So Barry Green and the Lions got to be careful. They don't want to lose their post player. And they definitely need her right now, down 32-21. There's a nice play, a nice drive to the basket.
Great play. It's not the first time we've seen that one tonight.
Correct. Ponytail is always getting in the way here, but I think
I was just getting ready to make a comment about hair, but I wasn't sure if that was professional.
I think that's Aubrey. That's nothing wrong with her hair. It's just in the way of her number.
We just can't see her jersey.
That's Aubrey Chopper, I think, number 13. Or Autumn Stottlemyre. I can't tell.
Process of elimination.
Darn those ponytails.
Yeah. Occupational hazard.
First free throw went down for the Mavericks, so 33-21. Second one off the mark, but Reese Cressline with a great rebound.
Great rebound, great hustle.
Bowman trying to get it to, I think that was Autumn Stottlemyre. I think I just saw number 4.
Okay.
3-pointer no good.
Oh,
Man
chance
Valley
after
corrals the
chance
rebound.
for Man Valley.
Right.
That is so tough.
But
Play defense.
They're able to get that rebound and tire out that Liberty defense.
Absolutely.
Reese Cressline will take the jumper. No good. Haley Hodges with the rebound
Haley.
for Liberty.
Good rebound, Haley.
21. Liberty needs to get some offense here with the halfway mark of the third quarter, or else this one's going to get away from them.
I agree, Pat. I think this is a huge possession for the Lions.
Definitely these next couple for sure. Yep. And Molly Smith getting in there with some hustle and a jump ball. Great play by Molly Smith, number 12.
Defense.
Yeah.
And I can tell you what, Coach DeWeese likes those types of plays.
And players.
Correct.
No doubt. And what does she do? She gets a jump ball turnover. And I think some of the Liberty assistants were praising her even for that one. So inbound play gets it to Reese Cressline, number 11.
Great ball movement by the
I was just going to say, you mentioned the
Mavs.
ball moving. And there's Haley Hodges with the steal.
Big steal.
Danny Paulson, number 2. There's a
need this.
three-pointer from number 3, Kiera Vassaleros. Just didn't quite find the mark, and Man Valley can set up shop again on offense.
Missing the mark there a little bit.
That was 25, Emma Schaefer with a jumper there. Didn't go in, and Liberty will get the ball under their own basket, Man Valley's basket. And coming the other way, again, these final 3 minutes are pretty crucial for Liberty if they want to try to stay competitive
Liberty
here.
scored 1 point in this quarter.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a foul shot, so.
Casey Meredith with the steal and the jumper from the free throw line. No good. I think Emma Schaefer fell down a little bit. And Jenna Liska will score at the other end.
Great effort
Little
running
mismatch
the
for
court.
Casey Meredith Gardner, but
Definitely.
number 14 finds the basket. And Liberty's first field goal of this third quarter comes, and then Barry Green calling timeout. So Jenna Liska, I'll say, Emily, I think you're right. Maybe a little winded, maybe not quite back in 100% shape.
Oh, yeah.
But she's giving it a go out there, and she's scored some buckets here for Liberty that's trying to keep the Lions in the game. Here's that
Yeah.
most recent one with the pass from number 21, Haley Hodges. You don't want to see Casey Meredith doesn't want to foul her there. And so Jenna just knows how to clean up at the glass.
Absolutely. And, we mentioned it in our set that Liberty they've been playing defense for the majority of this quarter.
Yes.
So that takes a toll on you. So you get to the point, and Coach Green knows these girls, that they need a breather, they need a stretch. We
Right.
also need to talk about an offensive set.
Right.
What are we gonna? What
Yes.
is our go-to?
Yes.
What is our bread and butter? Who do we need to get open? How do we get that person open? Let's all be on the same page before we go out there, because this is the point of the game where, it's a 10-point spread in the third.
100%.
This is where you make it or break it.
Yep. And whether that's Danny Paulson from an outside shot or Jenna Liska from the inside, but you're
Yeah.
right. If you're Coach Green there, you're telling them we're still in the game. Take a breath here. You called a full timeout
Sure.
to give them a little extra time. And also, like you said, let's set up the next 2:52
Yeah,
and see if we can
absolutely.
chip into this
We don't think
deficit.
anybody's in foul trouble. Let's
No.
get to the fourth quarter,
No, right. I think Liska had those two in the third quarter, but I don't know if she had one in the first half. So, yeah, it doesn't appear to be anybody missing
Yeah.
from the main starters. And
Jenna's having a great game from coming back from an injury. That's I'm not sure particularly what the injury was, but you're absolutely right. You rest, you lose a little bit of your conditioning, and
Yep.
now you're back on a big game on a Friday night.
That's right. She got into some game last week as well for the Lions. First time back. Obviously the first time she's been back in a little while. There was a lower. I'll say I saw her in a walking boot. I don't know what the injury was, but she definitely had a foot or
Yeah.
ankle injury. So those are tough
Yeah, absolutely.
when you're playing basketball. So.
High impact. Basketball is a very high
Yep.
impact sport.
Yep.
See a different little defensive setup
Yeah,
here
I
from
noticed
the
that too.
Lions.
Under 10 to shoot now from the Mavs.
6'5".
Let's see what we got here. Reese Crestline can hit it from three.
Gonna be a little short, I think. Yep.
It didn't hit the rim, so it's a shot clock violation.
Great defensive stand by
There's
the
Liberty's
Lions,
first
Pat.
stop. Liberty's
That's
first
huge.
stop. Yep.
That's almost as good as 2 points,
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah. I mean, if they can convert, right?
Correct.
Then it's a
That's-
4-point swing or thereabouts, right? So now the first part of Barry Green's timeout has worked. Now
think.
the next part is who, like you said, who wants the ball? And it's
Fantastic
Liska to
execution.
number
Look
21,
at that.
Haley Hodges, with the layup. Give the assist to Jenna Liska.
That's right. Great
And
court
it's
vision by Jenna. It's
single-
hard to see with 3 people on you, but she did.
And it's a single-digit deficit. And here comes some pressure from Liberty. Can Man Valley answer the challenge on Liberty's defense? Without Bowman on the court right now, too.
Yeah, that's tough too. Their go-to player is not out there.
Molly Smith.
Second.
Nice
Great
move.
take, Molly.
And a right hand from Molly Smith, number 12. That's a good answer from Man Valley.
And great clock awareness. She saw the shot clock was getting down. It was to 9, and she put the ball in her hip pocket and went.
Made sure to get by the defender, too. And
Absolutely.
a nice drive to the lane.
finish. Yep.
Danny Paulson will
They
try a
can get
three.
one.
Front of the rim. Haley
Keeping it
Hodges
alive.
rebound.
Yep.
Jenna Liska steps out.
Okay. Oh.
Three almost went down. Danny
Yeah.
Paulson almost got the
It's not
rebound,
a
but
bad
Man
look.
Valley, no.
Not a bad look.
Nope. And if that had gone down, we're talking about a 7-point game.
That's
so
right.
these last minute and a half, though, Liberty is not out of this game yet, but
No.
Man Valley also wants to run some clock and pad its lead. And Heather DeWeese will call a full timeout with 55 seconds to go in the third quarter. Much like Barry Green did, Emily, a couple possessions ago, Heather DeWeese might want to set up the final 55 seconds here.
I 100% agree. I think Heather wants to tell these girls, look, this is the play. Nothing really offensively other than that great take that we just saw by Molly. Nothing really has been executed well in the last couple of minutes. So I think she's going to say, look, this is a play we're running. This is who I want to have the ball. When the clock strikes this number, this is what we're going to do. So I expect to see excellent clock management and coming out of this time.
Does it get down to that specific? I mean, not until the clock hits 8 do I want you to go do this and make sure, provided that the
It
players
could.
are open.
Absolutely.
So it gets that specific.
Typically
Okay.
it could be.
Right.
When I would play, we would always, about like 8-9 seconds left on the shot clock. Whoever has the ball should start getting serious about advancing towards the hoop
Right.
or getting open for a shot.
Right.
So I think in this case, Man Valley has had some highs and lows of momentum in this game, and Liberty seems to be the more steady team. They're kind of hanging around. You have a 10-point
Sure,
differential
sure.
here, but really it could swing either way
Yeah.
pretty quickly with what we've seen
Yeah,
tonight.
no doubt about that. Man Valley 35, Liberty 25, 55 seconds to go in the third quarter here on the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Let's get back out to the court and watch the final 55 seconds of this quarter and then get ready for a fourth quarter.
That's right.
So yeah, important possession here. And doesn't sound silly, Man Valley's up by 10, but 14 on the shot clock, and we'll see what Heather DeWeese calls as we got Carmea Bowman, number 20, back in the game for the
Ooh.
Mavericks. That was tipped.
It was tipped.
Oh,
Oh, that was maybe Carey.
maybe like double dribbled there
Sure,
too, but
yeah.
didn't get called. But here we are with 5 to shoot.
Ah, turnover.
Yeah, I think it went off of her hip.
I can tell you that is not what they talked about in the timeout.
Coach, you drew it up perfectly, but that
Yeah.
didn't go the way they wanted it to. Dribbled it off her hip. That's not the plan.
No.
So a turnover for the Mavericks, and here's Liberty with a chance to get it under 10 points with 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Haley Hodges almost with the layup, and we got a foul call, and I think that's going to be a reach on Jenna Liska. If it is, that's at least her third, and they've all come in this quarter, I believe. So the shot clock will be turned off, meaning Man Valley can hold if it wants for the last shot of the quarter.
And Liberty turning the tables a little bit with some three-quarter court pressure.
One way to get out of it, though, is to have a speedy dribbler, and that's what they have right there in
a
Emma
lightning
Penchik.
bolt holding the ball, yeah.
Three-pointer
Ooh.
off the mark. Jenna Liska with the rebound. Oh, Courtney Goff, I think, lost her footing.
I think so, too.
Molly Smith.
Ooh.
Drive to the basket.
I tell you what.
She knows what she's doing to get to the hoop.
And that was a great opportunity to take a charge. You just don't see enough charges anymore,
There you
Pat.
go. You don't see enough charges and left-handed layups.
Yeah.
But credit to Molly Smith, number 12 for the Mavs, the junior center. Here she is getting around the defender. Nice job by her to get around the
beautiful.
defender, yeah. So you're right.
It's at least the second time today we've seen her take it really strong to the hoop.
Exactly.
I
In
know
this
that
quarter.
is what they talked about in the huddle.
And the confidence to knock down that free throw.
Yeah.
And it becomes an 11-point lead with 8 seconds to go.
Sometimes players don't always show up on the stat sheet, but I can tell you Molly tonight has really shown up in this game with her hustle plays and
Absolutely.
her grit and determination.
We saw her get the loose ball turnover.
There she goes again. She got the rebound.
Nice pass inside. Ooh, looked like a foul underneath, but nothing was called.
I hope she's okay.
And that's the end of the quarter. So Man Valley did get the ball back. No foul called underneath, and we have 1 quarter left to go in the books. Manchester Valley 36, Liberty 25. Liberty's not out of it yet, but Man Valley in that last minute or so of change. You just mentioned Molly Smith, the hustle plays, the jump ball turnover, the ability to get to the basket.
Sure.
Just the fact that they've got this 11-point lead into the fourth quarter. We're going to see some highlights here from Emma Penchik in that third quarter. She really asserted herself.
Absolutely.
For the Mavericks. We're going to take a look at some of her
She's definitely been
plays.
the spark plug for that team.
Yeah, the way she can just handle the ball, the way she can convert, and she's got great eye, like you mentioned, great court vision. That's what you want in your guard, right, Emily?
Absolutely. It doesn't also hurt that she's a lightning bolt on her feet. But you want to be able to have your court general really see the court, see how a play develops, see what's open. They have a different, now I was always a post player, so my perspective was always the block coming out. But they have a much better perspective and can see things develop.
The way she can just sort of command it here, draw the defender, and then step back and hit a three as well.
Yeah.
Like that's like, what do you do there, right? You're trying your best to keep her in front of you, and she just gives herself one little step of position, I should say, and hits a three. And here's some more from Emma. This is the one they wanted, the
foul.
block out. What do you think about that one, Emily?
Good no call.
All right,
Good no
I
call.
agree. I agree.
Good no call.
But
I
she
think gravity did some work there, yeah.
and
But
she hit the shot, which is the most
absolutely,
important part,
yes,
of course.
Yes. But when that happens by your bench, you do always try to get the
course,
foul
of
for
course.
theatrical purposes.
Emma Penchik with 15 points so far through
Wow.
3 quarters of play.
Yeah.
1 quarter to go. What's the one thing Liberty has to do to get back in this game?
Score.
Good one.
Yes.
But-
It's simple, but they've got to take care of the ball. They have to execute these plays, and they have to make some defensive stops.
And if you're Man Valley, you want that clock to tick down as much as possible. Whoa, okay.
There
Never
they
mind,
go.
because there's the first possession for Liberty.
See, they're listening. Score.
The clock stops, and the bucket goes in. Count it.
I can tell you if I'm Man Valley and I'm in contention for a potential county championship, these are the games that you need to finish. Man Valley cannot let a game like this be very close or jeopardize them
Or slip
from a
away.
bigger goal. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's Paige McKnight, number 5 for Liberty at the line. So give her the bucket, and she will be shooting this free throw.
She's got a great ponytail, too.
And she hits the free throw.
Great
36-28. So Liberty with the first 3 points of the quarter. Now you're going to expect, if you're Man Valley, I think, Emily, you would expect Liberty's defense to be tight. So you want that clock, the possessions to be, definitely underneath single digits before you start to take a shot. You want the clock to be your friend.
You want to run through your offense, and you want to see maybe option 1 is wide open, but option 2 or 3 could also be wide open. And if that ticks the clock down a little bit,
Correct.
gets you closer to the buzzer, why not? I'll tell you who has been a little bit quiet here is Carmea. So I do expect that you will say her name in the next couple of minutes.
I might, but also I think you're right. I agree, just because of the law of averages. But credit Liberty's defense for sort of getting her out of her rhythm. And there's Emma Penchik for a three-pointer.
She did not fall down on that one.
Holds it for posterity,
Beautiful.
and that's 18 points now for Emma Penchik. And a steal.
Emma, shoot. Oh, sorry.
That's okay, but Carmea Bowman tried to get the rebound. Oh, boy. Jump balls, bodies flying. Carmea got rolled up on a little bit there, but she's all right,
she looks
I think.
like she's a little shaken up, but
I think a big body fell on top of her, and she might have
she's grabbing her
hurt
left
her wrist slightly.
wrist.
And we got a timeout called.
Might have got bent a little
Yeah, maybe
odd.
a little bit. We got a timeout from Liberty, so
Yeah, definitely.
a little break in the action there.
That three-pointer, that was beautiful, but also difficult for Liberty to kind of defend against that and come back.
Right.
So far tonight, we've not seen an answer on Liberty's side for those three-pointers.
Yeah, and here's Emma again. I mean, they left her open, and she knows how to drain them. And then she came up and grabbed this steal right after the celebration of the three.
Yeah.
Just couldn't convert the jumper down the other end. But that's a timeout early you call when you might feel things starting to get a little bit out of hand.
I think so. Coach Green has a great thermometer for his team's pressure.
Correct.
And I think he felt, okay, it's to the point where it's boiling, and let's calm it down a little bit.
Right, it's getting close to critical, mission critical, because Man Valley, as we know, can score quickly. And before long, it only feels like 2 possessions, and they've scored 6 or 7 points, because of the steals and the layups. So I expect to see some pressure defense.
Good to see Carmea back in there. Nothing serious with her.
Yep. I think it might be a shot clock issue. Someone from the crowd. Nope, 26 to go. Okay. We're good. 7:08 left in the fourth. Nice inbounds play. Carmea Bowman. A strong finish.
Great finish.
Give that pass to Aubrey Chopper, and just a great finish by Carmea. Comes from the high, not the post, but the top of the elbow.
It's a bit of a mismatch.
Yeah,
there.
it was a mismatch.
Yeah,
Yep.
but great strong finish by Carmea.
Carmea knows what to do, down low for sure. And a little strong on the free throw, but 41-28 Mavericks. Give Carmea the 2 points.
Looks like Barry's team's going to spread it out here, see what they get open. Got a good opportunity there.
Yep.
Jenna all by herself underneath the basket for the rebound.
Paige McKnight, number 5, trying to get out of that pressure zone. There's Jenna Liska. Passes to, Goff tried to get it down low to Danny
another
Knight.
one of those thread the needle passes.
Danny Paulson. But Liberty retains possession. Paige McKnight, that's what I was trying to say
Good pick and
earlier.
roll.
Jenna going strong to the bucket and takes the contact.
Slow to get up.
Yeah, well, she's taking a licking in there a little bit. Man Valley's defense.
Can't blame her for being worn.
Yeah, and again, I still think she's not quite 100% yet coming off of this injury, but a nice screen there. And
that is
foul called underneath.
She's a very strong post player.
She's a strong girl.
That is the best. The pick and roll high-low is such a fantastic play.
Got to start hitting these, though, if you're Liberty, for these free throws.
These are free points you're leaving out there.
Liska all helped Liberty get to the state quarterfinals last year. Of course, Lions graduated reigning CMSportsNet Player of the Year, Jess Littlejohn. Another Cassie O'Hearn, another one of their guards graduated. They had to definitely fill some roles from last year's team. Did that free throw count? Okay, it was substitution. Okay. 41. The whistle blew so fast. I mean, it was a foot on the line or something. But 41-29. Oh, that looks like it could have been some contact there. But it's a turnover. Courtney Goff's shot is wild off the glass.
A little off the balance.
And Man Valley will try to corral it. Liberty needs to play pretty tight defense here, so they're going to be trying to be
Absolutely.
aggressive.
Oh, good hands.
Yep.
Oh.
Man Valley's with possession. Carmea, free throw, no good.
Let's call it. Yeah, we got one of the Liberty Lions players is down, grabbing her ankle, it looks like.
Ankle. Yeah, maybe the ankle. It was a loose ball they were going for, so
Yeah.
let's hope she's okay. Number 23, Courtney Goff, and there's a stoppage in play. 5:54 to go. Fourth quarter, and it's going to be physical the rest of the way. Liberty's in catch-up mode. Man Valley wants to keep its presence known.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you have to turn up the heat on the defense, the offense has to respond to that. So, in turn, everybody gets a little bit more aggressive,
Sure.
and some of these things like this are going to happen.
Yeah,
but she
he's-
looks pretty.
Yeah, Courtney Goff, 23, running off the court. Looks like she'll be all right.
Yes.
There'll be a substitution for her, but yeah, I mean, it is sort of, I won't say desperation mode yet, but it's getting close to being, like you said a minute ago, it's kind of mission critical for
Sure.
Liberty
You get to
if
the
they want to
point-
stay in this game.
If you have fouls to give, I don't think any of either team is in a one-on-one yet. So you have fouls to give.
You're gonna need them down the stretch here.
Quick shot.
Maybe a little quick, and Haley Hodges, 21, the rebound. That was Emma Penchik, number 2 there with that three-pointer. Maybe not the shot you wanted if you're Man Valley, but Emma's been hitting them, so
Absolutely.
you can let the
She's having a
shooters
great
shoot,
night.
right?
Yep. She's got the green light. Why not? Some sloppy.
That's going to be a backcourt violation.
Liberty just get a little sloppy. I can't help but feel they're probably a tad bit tired.
Correct.
Most of the game they've been dealing with like a three-quarter court press, which drains you a little bit.
Yes. And some players that not inexperienced from this season, but in their careers, got some young girls out there on the court. So some of this is seeing defenses like this not a lot during the season. Excuse me.
Oh,
Almost
creative.
lost the ball,
Yes.
and Man Valley keeps it. There's Bowman, nice pass down low, but a double team back to Bowman. And we call it jump ball. Heather
Jump
Deweese
ball.
not happy about
Coach
that call.
Deweese disagrees with that call.
She did disagree, but a jump ball is called, and Liberty gets the ball on the
Great
turnover.
movement on defense by Liberty. To your point, they are not going away.
They're not.
They do need to score.
They do. It's double-digit deficit right now, but there's still 5 minutes to go. And it's going to be a foul called on Carmea Bowman as 21, Haley Hodges, was trying to get the pass down low.
Spot foul.
And coming back in is Courtney Goff, who's
Good.
a Liberty player who was down with what looked like an ankle injury, but she's back on the court.
Good. Might just tweaked it.
And Lions will inbound under their own basket with 5:08 to go. McKnight, Haley Hodges for 3 off the rim. Liska with the rebound, but didn't quite set herself for the putback shot. And guess who?
Yeah.
Haley Hodges again.
Haley is scrappy.
She is scrappy despite giving up some inches down there underneath.
Yeah.
A good little player for Coach Barry Green, and Liberty is going to keep the ball here with 4:56 to go. But again, offense is sort of the utmost importance here.
Yeah, execution, Pat. I mean, you've got to be able to convert on these possessions.
Liska spots up for a long one. No good. Maybe not the shot you want if you're Liberty. And Emma Penchik comes up with the rebound.
Man Valley's going to want to execute a play, run a little bit of clock here, just try to settle down.
Carmea Bowman guarded by Hodges, and Carmea with the left hand again.
Beautiful. Great move.
When in doubt, go to that left hand on the block, and success for the Mavericks. Almost a steal.
Yep.
Danny Paulson, number 2. She can hit these threes. If you're Liberty, you need one. That one didn't go, but they get the rebound back. Courtney Goff, she's going to the basket. And a little bit of a strong pass for Jenna Liska, her teammates, out of bounds to the Mavericks. With 4 minutes left, Man Valley with a 14-point advantage, 43-29. And there's Emma Penchik again with her hands on the ball for the Mavericks. Three-pointer off the mark. Carmea Bowman cleans it up. And this one's starting to get out of hand.
It
Man
is,
Valley
it
up
is.
45-29 with 3:40 to go.
I think we're starting to see the Man Valley that's in the contention for the county championship, and that's a very encouraging thing, especially if you're Coach DeWeese, to see your girls step up and finish this one strong.
Penchik passes off the baseline, jumper short. Liberty rebound, 3:15 left. Lions need some offense in a hurry.
Not much from three-point land for the Lions tonight. They've had a couple open looks,
They
just
have.
haven't been able to let them drop.
Yeah, and Danny Paulson hit a couple earlier, number
Yeah.
2 for Liberty, but
Yeah.
not enough when they needed and some
You get a
wholesale
deficit
changes.
like this, you need your three-pointers to come in, and you need a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I need a couple to drop for you.
Inbound for the Mavericks, 3:05 to go. It's number 13, Aubrey Chopper, that was dribbling up the ball, and in
Great
it goes
pass.
to Carmea Bowman, and she's back.
Yeah.
We said she was quiet a little while ago,
was.
and she's not now.
No. She's coming on very strong at the end of this game. That was a fantastic entry pass, too, by her teammate.
They call a foul, they call out of bounds. Oh, they call it out of bounds. Okay, I think Chopper was thinking a foul was going to get called, but the ball
Right,
was out
yeah.
of bounds, so a turnover for.
Love the energy. Even when you're up this big, you're
Yep.
still fighting for those calls.
Oh, they're playing with passion for
They
sure.
do.
And here comes Liberty's pressure,
Yeah.
and that's a foul called. Or is it a timeout? Oh no, turnover, I guess.
What was it?
Must have been a turnover or a jump ball.
I don't know. We need a
I
zoom
don't know.
lens for that one.
It's all right. 47-29 Man Valley, 2:32 to go in the fourth quarter.
So fans are getting kicked out.
I don't
or
know if that's the
escorted
case
out?
or not.
Or maybe they're just leaving. Getting some substitutions.
Yeah, maybe some substitutions going on. All right, so we're inbounding back to Liberty. Pass a little long and a turnover. Just can't have these mistakes if you're the Lions down the stretch like this.
Yeah, it's so important. I remember when I played it, if you had more than 10 turnovers, it probably was not going to be a good night for you. So
Right.
the higher that turnover number gets, the lower your chances of winning the game go.
It's definitely more than 10, I'm going to go ahead and assume.
I would also agree with you.
Little long shot there, and back of the ball goes to Liberty. You
Nice kick out.
try to score in a hurry here, but you're down by 18 here. And turnover, Man Valley does keep it.
I think is that Molly down there?
Might have been. There's a pass to Bowman, right-handed this time,
And
and she
right
scores.
hand, yeah, there you go. Left or right?
That's right. Putting the finishing touches on this one, Emily. 49-29, Manchester Valley, under 2 to play.
I think it's a little bit out of reach for Liberty at this point, but overall, a valiant effort from the Lions tonight. We continue to see the scrappy defense from Coach Green's team, and you'd expect nothing else. There's
Right.
no quit in these girls.
Correct. So 1:42 to go, 49-29, Man Valley going to wrap this up in the next minute and a half and try to improve to 5-2 in the county. And Liberty will fall to 1-6 in county play. Again, a lot of games left. You play everybody twice, so there's plenty of teams left. But we're trying to get it back to Francis Scott. And all roads are leading to Francis Scott Key here as you're trying to take them down and win a county title. But they're off to that, like I said, that 7-0 start. Man Valley's played them once. They lost to them the first time. They'll get them in Uniontown the second time in a couple weeks. But TJ Devlin and Francis Scott Key girls are looking really good right now as the favorites to win the county. But you can't count on Manchester Valley at
Never.
5-2.
It's not over till it's over, right? I mean, that's why you roll out the ball and throw it up and play. So I think we're seeing a great job of Man Valley tonight. They're going to finish this game very strong. You see some of their starters are still in the game, still
Right.
actively contributing to
Right.
the game. So I think that this Man Valley, the Mavericks team, wants to make a statement tonight to say, Key, we're coming.
Yeah, and we want you to get that. We want to get you in that revenge game, that second game,
Sure.
and then we'll see what happens. But Man Valley can't afford any other missteps. They pretty much have to win out and hope that Key loses another place down the line as well. But still, again, plenty of games left in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
So Man Valley with some substitutions now for the final minute and a half. That was 23. Luetta Sipe, who's going to go to the free throw line for 2. The shot got deflected, but a foul was called. So some reserves for Man Valley trying to get themselves into the scorebook.
Great
And the
shot.
free throw goes in. So
Beautiful.
coming off the bench, Luetta Sipe,
That's right.
one of the forwards for Man Valley, listed as a forward. And she's going to get her points per game average up a little bit here.
It's not easy to do. Come right in and
Exactly.
head to the foul line.
Off the mark for the second one. Down comes Liberty, a little bit out of control there. Number 11, Jessica Hiller. But I think Liberty will maintain possession here
Yeah, it looks that way.
with 1:19 to go.
Let's run a good out of bounds play. And
Well, she kept it.
she did. That line's a little deceiving. Strong take. She just ran into some very
Tall
tall
trees.
trees
Some
down
tall
there. Yeah,
trees.
tall and dense forest.
Kiera Vassaleros
Yeah.
for Liberty there, trying to make something happen, but shot won't
That's
go.
a great take. Yeah.
But Man Valley gets the rebound. Crestline. Back to Sipe. Little baseline jumper won't fall. Her teammates want her to get it, that's for sure.
Great opportunity for a player that typically would not maybe be in the game or get the opportunity.
Right, exactly. And that was a jump ball turnover, I believe, so back to the Lions. Offense just kind of failed Liberty here in the fourth quarter, right? I mean, it was a close game. Actually, in the whole second half, it was a close game. It was 4 points. I think they had 20 points at halftime, only 9, and Man Valley is taking command in the second half.
Yeah, I think they ran out of juice a little bit.
They did.
That's a great shot
It's a
there.
bank
in
shot
the
off
lane,
the
a
glass,
little-
number 15, Gigi Hall. Makes it a 50-31 game, and Man Valley can just hold it here if they want. Or some of the reserves might say, look, I don't get in much. I want to try to score some points.
Yeah.
She needs help here. Needs to give it up. It's got to be 5 seconds. There's a pass that went out of bounds.
Such a when you're playing a team like Man Valley, who's going to bring a lot of pressure and a lot of intensity. There's such a small margin of error. So when you do have a lot of these turnovers and you can't execute consistently on the offensive end, it does make it hard to win a basketball game.
And that's going to be your
that'll do
final
it.
score. Manchester Valley 50, Liberty 31. CMSportsNet game of the week. Final score, like I said, Man Valley 50, Liberty 31. Carmaria Bowman finishing with 21 points. Emma Penchik with 18. Those were the two big stars of the game for Man Valley. And Emily, I mean, the way that we mentioned the inside-outside for Liberty, you definitely had an inside-outside presence with Man Valley as well, with Emma Penchik and Casey Meredith at the guards, and then Carmea Bowman.
It was a little bit different where it didn't go inside outside with Man Valley, but you definitely had moments where Carmela was she was quieter, but
Right.
then you had Emma that was lighting it up from the outside. So definitely an inside outside attack from Man Valley.
How impressed were you with how the Man Valley guards, Casey Meredith, Emma Penchik, a little bit of Aubrey Chopper, some of those other kids, how impressed were you with the way they would be able to run their offense and establish Carmea underneath, but also do what they wanted to do as well and make some great shots.
It's a great team. I think it's a definition of a great team. You don't have one defined star. You have two players. You're scoring almost 20 points. It's fantastic.
When they're clicking like that on all cylinders, they're fun to watch. We've seen them we've seen them do their thing for most of the year. So it's imperative that they want to go to the second half. They want to go to the second half of the season with this momentum. They have Man Valley in their sights. What's some of the things? And I know you haven't seen a lot of Man Valley this year, but they're off to a really good start as well. You mentioned them. You see Man Valley now. Are they a team that can sort of go toe-to-toe with some of the better teams in the area if they're playing the way they played tonight?
Sure, and I don't see why not. Not only that, but they're a team that's been in this position before, so that's a big part of it too. Their coach has been in this position before with some very talented teams. It's a very athletic team that we saw tonight. They've got the star power to be able to sustain themselves through the rest of the season. So maybe a couple mishaps before tonight, but I think we're getting geared up, ready for some excitement.
And then for Liberty, too. I mean, again, they stumbled tonight a little bit, but they did hold their own for about 2.5, 3 quarters of this game. What are the positives you can take out of, I know it was a 20-point loss, one of the positives you can take out of a loss like this?
Listen, you got one of your star players back from injury, so I think you take out of, listen, we have to re-identify ourselves now that she's back. We've got to refamiliarize ourselves with the plays that are going to work. They never gave up either. They got a little sloppy down the end, but they're still executing, and they finished the game.
All right, 50-31, Man Valley over Liberty. Stick around, though. We're going to be right back, a little bit of a break, and we'll come back with a post-game interview right after this.
Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CMSportsNet's Athlete of the Week. Each week, CMSportsNet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments. The CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Genova's To Go, locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's To Go, pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
What does it take to cover local high school sports? It takes staff and volunteers, equipment, training, and community support from people like you. You can help by making a donation to the Community Media Center today. Your gift is an investment in our community, our schools, and most of all, our student athletes. We want to expand our coverage to include both boys and girls sports, but we can't do it without your help. So please, make your donation today and help us bring high school sports to every screen in Carroll County.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
It's our new podcast, and each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss the Score and More podcast presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
It's just frozen. All right, we're going to watch some highlights of the second half. We're back, CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Let's take a look. I'm here with Emily Bollinger. I'm Pat Stetzer. Emily Bollinger Miller. Sorry about that. She was Emily Bollinger for so long. And now she's
I still am the same person.
I know, and now
yes.
she's Emily Miller. It's my mistake. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the second half highlights and see how Man Valley pulled away in this one and picked up a Carroll County victory. Again, it was we'll watch some highlights from the entire game, but it was a closely contested first half, even after Manchester Valley was able to kind of start strong here. And like you mentioned right away, we see Carmea Bowman using the glass and using her skill to get down low. She really sort of established a presence early, Emily.
Absolutely. Once these two teams kind of figured out the tempo and the pace of the game, she did not waste any time lighting it up there. Great plays. There you see, you're watching a steal at the front of that three-quarter court press. She runs the floor very well. Her teammates obviously look for her. The plays are set up to get the ball to her, and she did not let her team down tonight.
We also saw a lot of Emma Penchik, number 2,
Yes.
the sophomore guard. Her ability to fluster the Liberty offensive players when they're on defense, and then turn into points. Big game from Emma Penchik tonight too.
Oh, absolutely. It's so consistent tonight. She did it all. She ran the court well. She controlled the ball. You saw her on the defensive end step up with a few steals, and then you're seeing her there. She knocked down, I think, maybe 3 big three-pointers tonight, if I remember. They were all so beautiful. I think I remember each of them.
Of course you do. Here's one right here.
There you go.
This is the one where they wanted the 4-point play,
Sure.
but Emma's ability to find the spot in the corner, set herself, and take that 3 really just makes her just an even bigger threat for Manchester Valley. So with her and Bowman doing what they did in this game, just a really good 1-2 threat. But then you had Jenna Liska for Liberty. She didn't go away.
Absolutely.
She was able to yes, she's not 100% right now, but she was able to make her presence known. That's what I was
Absolutely.
trying to say.
She came right into the game. She totally made an impact for her team. It's clear that this team needs her, and they rely on her, her presence down low. It's so tough to come back from an injury, and I'm proud of her for being out there tonight.
And you also like the play of Molly Smith, number 12.
Molly, yes.
Come up here with a that play down low where she was just able to get that ball on her hip, like you said, to score. Haley Hodges, 21 for Liberty, off to a pretty good, definitely doing some work there for Liberty, even though she's given up some inches underneath, but she was not letting that defender in. Here's Molly Smith again.
Yes.
Coming up with some nice moves to the basket, just giving Man Valley that extra offensive weapon.
Textbook.
So Man Valley was up 33-25 at that point. Here they are up by 11. But again, Liberty trying to do its best to stay in the game early in the fourth quarter. There was a 3-point play there by 23 Courtney Goff. But Liberty just did not have enough offense to keep pace with the Mavericks. But we do see Goff convert that 3-point play.
Yep. And coming down the home stretch, Liberty got a little bit loosey-goosey with the ball. They just weren't able to execute the way they needed to on offense.
5, Paige McKnight was my mistake for that 3. But then again, there you see.
Doesn't help when that happens.
And right down the other end, Liberty thinks they're going to get back into the game. And Emma Penchik spots up and cans another 3-pointer. And when you're feeling it, you're feeling it, right, Emily? I mean, you want to be smart with the ball, but you don't want to take too many bad shots. And there's another great inbounds play as number 13 for Man Valley, Aubrey Chopper, finds, guess who? Carmea Bowman under the basket, and Carmea manages to...
She resparked.
Respark, correct.
She did respark coming down the home stretch there.
Yep, she certainly did. Mm-hmm. Nice kiss off the glass there, too, by Carmea.
You know, the offensive style of the Mavs really wore down the defense of the Lions, and I think that's evident down as we're watching some of these highlights, how Liberty or Man Valley just completely dominated down below late in the game.
Especially, like you said, especially in the second half. And there's Carmea again cleaning things up for the Mavericks. 43-29 there was the score.
Great positioning for the rebound. Again, you don't see much fight in the defense there. They're a little bit tired, but all credit there. She's in good position. Beautiful entry pass there from her teammate. The lob.
And
great post up. Yep. Good positioning.
A great assist, and Carmea is going to finish almost every time.
You can tell they've played a few games together.
Correct. Then another long court pass here, and Carmea, one more kiss off the glass. For a while, she went cold, but she was feeling it in terms of the late in the fourth quarter and during that whole fourth quarter.
Great footwork, great finish.
To give the Mavericks their big lead. And we see Liberty's final score there, final bucket of the game. So 50-21 was the final score. Man Valley over Liberty. Man Valley goes to 5-2, like I said, in Carroll County play. And Liberty falls to 1-6. I believe we're going to get down to a post-game interview from Liberty High School's gymnasium. Again, I'm Pat Stetzer. I'm with Emily Bollinger. Let's go ahead and go to Emily Miller. Let's go ahead and go to the post-game interview. Josh Pasteur was talking to one of the stars of the game, Emma Penchik of Manchester Valley. All right, we might be having a little bit of technical difficulties there, but we will hopefully get you that post-game interview between Josh Pasteur and Emma Penchik. Emma had 18 points tonight for Manchester Valley. Carmea Bowman was their leading scorer with 21 points. Molly Smith had 5. So definitely well-rounded for Manchester Valley. On the other side, you had Jenna Liska with 8, Danny Paulson with 6, Paige McKnight also with 6, and then a couple girls with 4 apiece, Alyssa Gollenbeck and Haley Hodges. It was balanced for Liberty, like you said, but in the end, it was just too much Man Valley and too much of their star power.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so tough to play the whole game with certain defensive intensity, and that's what Liberty would have had to do tonight to win, and not to mention execute on the offensive side. So it's just they did not have the shots falling, and we mentioned that in the pregame. You know, you can live and die by the 3. So if you hit a lot of those shots, it's a different story we're talking about right now.
Don't go away. We will be right back. We're going to have a little post-game interview with Josh Pastor and Emma Penchik, but first, a little break. CMSportsNet Girls Basketball Game of the Week.
Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments. The CM Sportsnet Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Genova's To Go, locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's To Go, pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
What does it take to cover local high school sports? It takes staff and volunteers, equipment, training, and community support from people like you. You can help by making a donation to the Community Media Center today. Your gift is an investment in our community, our schools, and most of all, our student athletes. We want to expand our coverage to include both boys and girls sports, but we can't do it without your help. So please, make your donation today and help us bring high school sports to every screen in Carroll County.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us.
All right, we're back. CM Sportsnet Girls Basketball Game of the... No, we're not back. We have the podcast. We are back. CM Sportsnet Girls Basketball Game of the Week. Emily Miller, Pat Stetzer, I got it right that time. We're just waiting on, and we're going to hear now from our post-game interview. Josh Pasteur caught up with Emma Penchik, one of the stars of the game from Man Valley. Let's hear what Emma had to say following their big win over Liberty.
All right, I'm here with Emma Penchik. So what was the intensity like tonight?
Tonight the intensity was really high to start, and then it got a little bit low, but at halftime we really regrouped, and the intensity, especially from the bench, poured onto the floor, and we started scoring.
Absolutely, yeah. You guys came out in the second half with a lot of defense. So how much fun was it when you and Casey Meredith are in sync?
I love it so much. Me and Casey, we just have this bond. It's really strong, and once we play together well, then everyone else plays together well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. Good game.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Josh, and thank you, and congratulations to Emma Penchik, and thank her for giving us a little bit of her time. Final thoughts, Emily Miller. Man Valley, kind of a complete performance. They didn't quite do it in all 4 quarters, but they got the job done, and they really pulled away to beat Liberty in this one.
Man Valley is tuning up for a run at the county championship, and I think that's what we saw coming down the stretch tonight. So they showed that they could finish the game. Liberty did not quit. We would never expect them to quit. I think they're just kind of in a retraining type, but thank you so much for having me tonight. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for giving us plenty of your time. It's been a long time since we talked basketball like this. I'm old enough to have covered Emily when she played high school basketball, but you were one of the first people I wanted to come do this, and I'm very glad you did. So thank you very much for giving us some time. For Emily Miller, I'm Pat Stetzer. Thanks for joining us tonight for the CM Sportsnet Girls Basketball Game of the Week. We'll see you guys next time.